You've made your way through to the Champions League proper, you got the draw, and it was a very tough group, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. That tough baptism, those first 3 games, do you think it caught maybe one or two of the team a little bit by surprise as to how difficult and how different it was?
No, I don't think we were caught by surprise. I think we were aware of the step-up situation, which the Champions League is. The Champions League is like playing Man United and Arsenal every game, every time, every game. You know, so whether it's Juventus, Inter Milan, Barcelona, whatever, you know, they're just top games, and with outstanding players. There's no weakness in the side. They haven't got a couple of positions which you think you can exploit, because they've all got long, tough squads, and if they have injuries or people out of form, they just slot in the the next piece of the jigsaw. So we weren't caught by surprise. We were just aware of the power and the quality of the sides. And it wasn't easy going to Juve, and it wasn't easy going to into Ukraine for Kiev. They were tough matches. We played reasonably well. We never outplayed. Goals just came, you know, awkwardly and against us, and we knew we had a fight on our hands, and our home form was going to be obviously very, very important. But it was amazing, really, what we did in the first segment of those matches.
Once you got your foot in the door, so to speak, though, that the games really took off, didn't they? And the excitement they generated was fantastic.
Well, we played 3, lost 3, didn't even score a goal, so it looked bleak. We knew we had a chance. We knew we had, 2 games at home and a toughie away against a team who had already beaten us at home. But I just felt Feyenoord were perhaps the weakest of the 4 teams, weaker than us, in fact. And if we just could get points on the board and had something to play for in Feyenoord, we would do it well. The energy and the ambition, the resolve went into winning the 2 home matches, which was obviously Kiev and Juventus. And we won them both. Picked up 6 points, and we have 3 more to collect in Feyenoord if we can play well away from home. Well, as you know, we did it. So we played 3, lost 3, and then we played 3, the remaining 3, and won 3. And we put ourselves in the next stage of the competition. It was remarkable. It was exciting. It was incredible. It was phenomenal. It was just wonderful. The players loved it. I did. The board did, because there's another injection of money, and our supporters thoroughly enjoyed themselves and eagerly looked at, and anticipated another high trip, as it were.
You went to Barcelona and lost there. Kieran's sort of leaning on the goalpost routine, which was something quite bizarre. When you look back on that now, what do you make of all of that?
Well, Kieran's hanging on to the post.
On the post for that set piece.
Well, not very much. I didn't like it, and I remember in a debriefing exercise we talked about this and showed it on film, to what had happened, and a couple of players laughed, and I said, "What are you laughing at? Do you think that's funny?" Because I said, "I don't think that's funny. I think that's a disgrace." And I mean that sincerely. And while Kieran is a terrific boy and he's been a great boy here, that night, that was unprofessional. He lost his alertness. He lost his attention to a crucial situation. Can't have that. Do without driving a car, you might not see the next day. So it was serious. And sometimes if it acts as a stimulus, it can do you good. Because we've used that all the time now. Never do what Kieran did when you're on the goal line. Never. Part of your duty, part of your job. And it sparked an attention to duty. And so the 2 guys who were laughing suddenly realized that I was inflamed, and what I was saying meant, it hurt. I think the fellow who's paid 350,000 or £350, I should say, not 350,000, but £350 to watch us play in Barcelona. would be amused by that. And that £350 to him would be a lot of money. And I pointed it out to all the players, you know, that these guys, you know, pay a lot of money to watch us play, and they won't expect a lot. So, and Kieran, well, you know, to be fair, I have to say this, of course, I've been very angry about Kieran, but Kieran, to be fair, you know, when I saw it, he couldn't believe how bad he'd been. He couldn't remember that he was that bad. I said, well, have a look at it again, just to make sure that you do remember it. And so we showed it to him again. And he was totally embarrassed. And to be fair to Kieran again, he's taken that on board, and we always now, whenever we go through tactical planning, people on lines have to be like 3 goalkeepers. And your duty is to head it off the line or kick it off the line. I mean, we saw one here just last Saturday when against Aston Villa, when Alan got in a very strong header from a corner. Keeper didn't save it, went past the keeper, and the fullback on the line kicked it out. It's a goal. And the Hillsberger, who was on the line, got it off the line. Made a tremendous save with his foot. So it wasn't funny. It was serious. It cost us dearly. We were 2-1 at the time. Very much back in the game. I mean that. You know, everything to play for, but the 3-1, the goal killed us. So it was exceptionally costly, unprofessional, and players know that. And so does Kieran, and he's held up his hands. And I don't think he'll ever do that again in the rest of his life. So, shot across his bow. It hurt us at the time, it affected us at the time, but it will stand us in good stead. That's all I can say.
To go back to the league again, and the start of 2003, beat Liverpool at home, suddenly you're into the top 4. You're then, for the rest of the season, playing down almost what the team can achieve. Inside, what did you think the team was capable of achieving?
Not to win it. Still slightly behind Man United and Arsenal. They would only fail if they failed. We're not quite there yet, but close to them. Now, if they're mistakes, we can leapfrog. But they don't make mistakes. They don't make as many mistakes as anybody else. Their quality is too much for mistakes to occur. They have minor mistakes, but they don't have major mistakes. That's the difference. But again, I felt if we can finish 4th or thereabouts, we've had another wonderful season. Our league form has been outstanding. We got belted against Manchester United. Those results come once every 10 years, I guess. And it was a shock to us and a surprise to us that on the day, I mean, we didn't collapse. It wasn't of that nature that the team just sagged and collapsed. They were very good. They'd just come out of a mauling in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid, and a lot of criticism, you know. Although why, I never know. You go to Bernabeu and lose 3-1. Why do you have to get criticised? You've lost a match, a big match. But it hurt them, and they came back, and they were very much up for it. And what should have been their hardest away match, I think, in the Premiership, maybe other than Arsenal, against us, turned out to be their easiest match. We just lost focus. We conceded bad goals. We had 6 players out of 10 on the pitch who played poorly, and I mean poorly. Didn't play anything like their standard, not anything to their capability. We made errors as well, personal errors. The goalkeeper never had a chance with any of the 6 goals, so it wasn't down to lousy goalkeeping. Shea had no chance with 6 shots. Every shot was struck right in, but we're giving people pots at goals, you know, free shots at goal. And it was just a bad day for us. It's one of the worst days I've ever had as a manager. And I've been a manager for 33 years. I have to tell you that. So, you know, however unhappy people were, imagine my feelings. I'm the manager, and that's one of the most unhappiest days I've ever had in 50 years of football. 50 years. Well, 53 if you want to be accurate, you know. And to lose 6-2, you know, wasn't easy for me. I didn't go out that night. I couldn't even go home, you know. I did, of course, but I wanted to kind of find a hedge and sit myself in a hedge all night. You know, trying to work out why it was that my good team played like that. When before the match, we resolutely said, this is the big one. If we win this one, we're back in winning the championship. And you know, at Q3, if you had a pound, you might have put it not on Man United. I tell you, I wouldn't. I would have put it on my team. And when Jay Janus scored the first goal, I thought, we'll win this. That's just what we want. We've now got the impetus, we've got the stimulation to now go on to win this match. So we won up with a 52,000 baying crowd. And we're driving. We're in the hot seat. It just changed. They scored, I think, 3 goals in 7 minutes on a restrike, and just battered us. And at the end of the day, we were poor.
You mentioned you're a young team, but you very much set your stall out for young talent this season. Jonathan Woodgate, for example, you went out and bought him at the early part of the year, and that in many ways sent out a very strong message about the club and its ambitions in getting Jonathan.
Yes, well, we've always felt we needed another top centre-half, and my decision was to try to buy English. And you might have to pay a bit more money, I think, which you do. This is why so many clubs have gone abroad. You can get a good player and sometimes a better player for less money. That's why we have so many foreigners in the country. They're cheaper. But it was my intention to buy British, and we knew where there was one. Could we get him? And the player was, you know, Jonathan Woodgate, and the chairman did very well with negotiations. I mean, I didn't interfere. He did the job and did it very well. I just kept in touch with him. How's it going? You know, what's the chances? Keep at it. Kept motivating him, but he didn't need motivating. He knew what he wanted, and he sees the job through. And he saw the job through, the chairman. Did very well. And we got Jonathan Woodgate at what I think is a very good price. He's 23 years of age. He can play here for 10 years. At really top quality. And he's English, and I think that's important. No, to keep a good balance of English players in your network. And so it's been a sensational buy. You know, I think our chairman, Mr. Shepherd, since I came here, has backed the club wonderfully well. Because when I came here, there was no money. The first thing he said to me was, listen, Bobby, I have to tell you, there is no money, so don't ask for money. There's no money for players. The money we've spent, we've had it, it's gone. And I understood, I came under those terms. But after a year, you know, things began to change a little bit, the wheel turned a little bit. And periodically, the chairman, I think, has done a fantastic job here. Because he has found money. Where it comes from, I don't know. He's the chairman, I don't get involved in that. But, you know, we have bought players here, haven't we, you know, since I came here. You know, we bought Viana, we bought Bramble, we bought Jonathan Woodgate, we bought Jay Janus, you know, £5 million for a 19-year-old. That's a lot of money for a 19-year-old boy. So when I'm saying players are expensive in England, that's a sample of it. JJ was 19 years of age when we forked out, you know, £5 million for him. Viana was about the same price, and we paid a little bit more for Viana. Woodgate at 8 or 9, whatever it is still big money. Still big money. Newcastle United conducted the only transfer in the transfer window in January, not only in England, in Europe. Nobody else bought another player to that amount. Newcastle was the only club that did it. So the chairman, you know, he's a miracle man, the chairman. He's found money, and he's backed me, and he has spent money on the team. So we deserve to be where we are. We have to be where we are, with the you know. And then we've had, you know, little goodbyes like Andy O'Brien, you know, for £1 million, Gakuna for £1 million. We've had a couple of little not so good ones. We know that. We thought we were doing very well on, but it haven't turned out to be that way. And you get that sometimes. But on the surface of things, the buys we made have been very sound, young, got a good future, have quality, and got legs. And hopefully it'll all come right.